Political hard talk.
Tune in every Monday for Political Hard Talk on Ben TV from 7:30 to 8 p.m.
It's going to be hot.
Political hard talk.
Political Hard Talk. Ask pertinent questions that others shy away from.
It's going to be hot.
Political hard talk.
Good day and welcome to Political Hard Talk. Last week we had Mr. Alex Segbefia, the campaign coordinator for the NDC. Part 2 of this section will be looking at the Electoral Commission in general and the NDC party's policies for Ghana. Mr. Alex, welcome to the program.
Good day to you and good day to your viewers.
One thing that Ghanaians are crying for, and the very embodiment of Professor Atta Mills. A lot of people say he's Asomdwe Hene, and a lot of Ghanaians say they want a very peaceful election. What is the NDC's contribution to peaceful electioneering in Ghana this December?
Well, the NDC, we believe, have actually been a bastion of peaceful elections throughout the Fourth Republic. 92, 96, 2000. In 2004, there were lots of posturing and clamoring from our end regarding the fact that we were quite unhappy with the result of the, quite unhappy with the issue of the way the election had been conducted. However, as you know, a number of our party people went to court, and as a result, the court has since ruled that the Electoral Commission was not entitled to give out Gazette results polling station by polling station. They could just give it by constituencies, which may all be well and good, but doesn't send the right message, because it's a matter of addition. For you to get your constituency figures, you must add the polling station figures. So why it has taken almost 4 years, 3.5 years, for this matter to finally be resolved, and resolved in a manner which doesn't help anyone, is of some form of concern to many of us. However, we, as I've said, we have always been peaceful. We are hoping for a peaceful election come the 2008 general election. And we believe that the Electoral Commission has a very important part to play in this regard. We did our homework after the 2004 election, and we realized that in actual fact, no matter what we said about our opponents, we ourselves had not been as vigilant as we should have been to ensure that we had the result that we needed. In other words, lots of things went on in the 2004 election which gave us grave concern. And after looking at all the papers we got back from our polling agents and what occurred, we came to the conclusion that there were various things we will bring to the attention of the Electoral Commission and various practices that should be rectified. One, we realized that the splitting of the registration from the photo taking exercise was actually quite detrimental to our cause and allowed for mischief in terms of areas which were concerned to be political strongholds of one party as against the other. We also realized that the kind of registration of forms, which meant that there were enough forms at registration centers. If you didn't have enough of them at a particular, and then you had to ask for, because they are logged, and you have to understand this, what happens is that the Electoral Commission at the national level sends out forms to all the regions. they are logged by serial number. A goes to this area, B goes here, B1 to this number, A, C1. So you know which region has which registration documents. Before the region sends it out to the constituencies, they also tabulate which forms have gone to which particular polling station. Then the polling stations will know. So when there is excess forms, they are returned back in the same way and logged. When extra forms are required, they are logged in the same way. That way, if tomorrow you have to check somebody's registration in a particular area, and his registration form is C123, in an area where it's A, you ask straight away, how did he register in this form come into Central Region, for example, which is B or D? It's a way of checking your register. Now, we knew from 2004 that in some areas, some artificial shortages were created. And then papers were taken straight from national without going through the process of registration and brought to the registration centers because the shortage had to be dealt with immediately. Once you do that once, you have contaminated the whole system of check. And so we kept insisting that they must ensure that they have enough registration documents at each polling station, at each registration center. What was more significant for us in this registration exercise was that unlike previous elections where they had opened almost all the registrations, polling stations, and then over 20,000 polling stations, everybody could register at their polling station. They were only opening 5,000 registration centers in the country this time. And the reason for that, it was the limited registration. It was meant to capture predominantly those who had just come into the system as normal voters, those between the ages of 18 and 21 predominantly. And then those who, for one reason or other, had not been able to register as a result. For these 5,000 polling stations, the EC itself at one point wanted to divide the country again into two because they didn't have enough cameras or workstations. Papa, we couldn't believe what we were hearing. 5,000 workstations the Electoral Commission had not ordered. We cater for over 20,000 polling stations. In our time, we did it in 2004. 2008, 5,000. They didn't have 5,000 workstations.
So at your inter-party...
IPAC meeting. We went for an IPAC meeting. We raised the issue. If you remember, the registration exercise was postponed from the 8th of May, and we did it in July, end of July. This was one of the reasons. The cameras even, which were less than the 2,500, less than half, hadn't arrived. And we told the government, they were trying, the Electoral Commission, they were trying to split the country into two. Half would do, and then the other half. And we said, please, we have been down this road before, and we got burnt. We in the NDC felt we became victims of the system. So we are not prepared. We want the registration exercise to be nationwide, once and for all. They said they had to postpone the registration. Don't forget, it had been postponed from March already, according to their own timetable, to May. Postponed May to July. And we all thought that come July, all the 5,000 would be opened with each registration center. They didn't. They now started shifting cultivation, as I call it. So this registration center will get it for 3 or 4 days. Then they move to another registration center in the constituency for another 3 or 4 days. This was the registration exercise that we just embarked upon.
Are you satisfied?
No.
But are you satisfied in general the EC's?
We now have to go through a massive cleaning exercise of the register. Even by the EC's own calculation, too many minors were registered. People who had lost cards maybe or were in different parts of the country who were not interested in traveling again joined the queue. The education of Ghanaians in particular about the fact that if you had registered before and lost your card, you could go to the EC at any point give your details, and once they found you on the register, they would give you a new card, wasn't done properly. The EC and government would not listen